enseño aquí en la escuela de Milwaukee School of Languages. Enseño el 8º grado, enseño la historia de los Estados Unidos y es una clase que es parte del programa de inmersión que tenemos aquí en Milwaukee. Hi, my name is Senora Gilson and I teach here at Milwaukee School of Languages. I am the 8th grade U.S. history teacher and part of the immersion program that we have here in Milwaukee. So I teach the class in Spanish. Investing in history education is such a critical piece to a child's education. I think that funding for the type of programs that I've been able to take advantage of is very, very important. I've been able to take graduate classes that have increased my content knowledge. I've been able to go to professional development opportunities, travel to Washington, D.C., go to various social studies conferences. All of these things have increased my content knowledge of history, as well as made my appreciation that I already had grow into something even greater. Then it is my duty to bring that excitement and passion back to the classroom so that my students' content knowledge grows, that their passion and appreciation grows, and that they can take their respect for history, critical events, and people in our past and bring that and connect that to our community, their lives today, so that they can become active citizens.
Oh, well, the usual cliches. Like, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
History is essential. Having a sense of history is essential for human beings and citizens within a democracy. If you don't have any sense of where we have come from, you have no sense of who you are or how we've made decisions in the past so that we can make better decisions in the present and the future. So without any kind of investment in history, we'll be basically blind of the...
Well, personally, I love history because learning, to me, things that happened in the past is very fascinating, in my opinion, because learning about people that lived and did something extraordinary is very fascinating to me. So that's basically why I love social studies.
There's a strong correlation between nations that invest in education and those with strong and stable democracies. History education teaches our young people about both democracy and democratic values such as freedom and the right to equal protection and opportunity for all. Thomas Jefferson wrote that if a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. A solid foundation in historical education will give our young people the best chance at making informed policy decisions for all.
I like it because you get to learn about what happened in the past and what people did in the past, and you get to change what happened there too, and you get to learn about it. And my favorite person from the past has to be Rosa Parks, because she had us in the back, which is not really that's not fair, and also that black people can go wherever they want to go. Everything's treated the same way.
In my opinion, part of the reason why those scores may be going down has to do with the way teachers teach in the classroom. Recent times we get away from textbooks and worksheets and shift to analyzing primary source documents and writing. And to do that shift in the way curriculum is offered in the schools, teachers need to change. And part of what assists this change is a lot of professional development, which helps teachers make this shift in the way they actually address students and teach their classrooms.
Nope, start over, I don't like that.
Hello, my name is Kellen Sharp, and I will tell you here today why I love social studies. Well, to me, social studies is a way to connect to my past, to connect to our ancestors and what we've done back then, because without history, there is no future, there's no present. And so getting to know that makes you smarter, and knowledge is power, as
Hallo, mein Name ist Lori Ackerman und ich lehre Sozialkunde hier beim MSL. Hi, my name is Lori Ackerman and I teach social studies in German at Milwaukee School of Languages. Investing in history education involves more than just money. It involves time and talent as well as money.
I love social studies and history because it teaches kids about all, not just where we are now, but all around the world, what the past. And maybe you could, if Maybe if you're from Germany, you can learn the history of where your ancestors came from originally.
When I'm asked the question about what does it mean to invest in history education, I think of the term invest, and to me that means kind of a short-term investment, whether it be funding, energy, or resources for some long-term goal. And in the classroom, our long-term goal has to be to change the attitude of students and to increase test scores and interest in history education.
Nope, start over, I don't like that.
I would honestly say Thomas Jefferson because I played in a play about history about him. I was actually the lead, Thomas Jefferson, and I researched him through primary documents, and what he's done is really good. This whole thing right here is what Thomas Jefferson, well, this is what Thomas Jefferson did, just 1803. He bought about 1/3 of the land of the U.S. right now.
The Teaching American History grant has allowed me many more opportunities than I could have ever learned in a classroom or graduate level course. It has afforded me opportunities with hands-on experience, opportunities with history professors from all over the United States, travel opportunities, and I've brought all of my knowledge that I've gained from having these opportunities back to my students. And I feel that the students have really received a better understanding of U.S. history education.
My favorite person from history is John Hancock because, like he did, he played in the play, so did I. I was John Hancock too. He wrote on the Declaration of Independence. He wrote first and signed his name big enough so the king could read it without his bifocal.
Investing in history education is like taking a child or a teacher who could be proficient at what they're doing and making them advanced. It's providing opportunities to enrich the curriculum that exists and take it that next step. It's teaching about primary documents. It's going to things and bringing them back and sharing not only with your students the educational experience of those visits or trips, but it's also the in-servicing that you do to other staff members. So when you invest in history education, you're not investing in just the one or two people or just the people that are in that grant. You're investing in the whole school system.
Because I like hearing about the past times when they were like in the war, World War II, all those things. I like those things, and about those past things that happened a long, long time ago. And my favorite person is Abraham Lincoln because I had to do a speech of him. I learned a whole bunch of things. I learned when he was born, when he died, and where he got died, and what time.
Some examples would be the DBQ project, which we've used extensively in my classroom, in which students analyze primary source documents and write essays, which helps them express what they gather from the documents. Whereas prior to this, we'd read a passage from the textbook, fill out a worksheet which tells what the student learned, and probably within a few days, they don't remember what we covered. These essays, students remember things they've done months earlier because they were a part of the process, not only learning it, but then analyzing and telling in their own words what it means.
Nope, start over, I don't like that.
Social studies is important because you learn stuff when you're doing it, and it can be fun when you're doing it. And you can do plays, you can do art projects. Like my teacher, Miss Silva, is doing a play, and it's about Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War. And we have two students. Well, I'm one of them who has a big role, Mary Todd Lincoln and Kalik, and he plays Abraham Lincoln. And we've all worked very hard for it, and you can see that social studies could be really fun.
Investing in literacy for our students, literacy in technology. We live in an age where things are being recorded in many different formats in many different ways, and they're going to be viewed for the next 100, 200, 300 years, and our kids need to know how to function in that environment.
Social studies is my favorite subject because it tells me like my ancestors and what they did, and it's just fun to learn about that. That's probably it.
So a big part of this investment is changing the attitudes of the teachers in how they actually teach their classroom. And when they do more document analysis and writing, they change the way the students learn in their classroom. And when the students change the way they learn, they remember more. And then the byproduct of it is that test scores and every other indicator that tells whether or not a student is being successful in class, all those go up. And to me, that's what the main investment needs to be about. Making history interesting for kids, but yet relevant so that they learn, and that this learning becomes a part of who they become later on when they leave the school system and become a productive citizen.
Nope, start over, I don't like that.
I love social studies because you get to learn about history, and the history is like amazing because it had like a lot of super things in there that I didn't know, so like Miss Silva taught us some things. So it's like really special. Like we learned about some Indian people, we learned about Abraham Lincoln and all those things, and I really enjoyed
To
it.
invest in history education, to maintain it as a high priority discipline. A lot of times with budget cuts and standardized testing, we see that history could soon be pushed aside as it's not on the test. So we need to show that by teaching history, we're supporting other disciplines. And
We did. At Easter break, we all had projects of Indian tribes from Wisconsin, and we all did their dwellings of it.
Nope, start over.
Give students critical thinking skills for their future.
History education teaches kids reading, writing, thinking, and patriotism.
Teaching American history grant is very, very important and needs to be able to continue in the United States. Not only for students in an inner city school, in an urban district, but for students everywhere, so that all students get a better understanding of United States history, and then they can pass that on to future generations.
Billions of people living billions of stories, billions of lives that follow mystical glories, chasing the same stars, watching our own stars glowing. I am one in my own right, following through. I am unique in all that I do, original. I just footprint falling in the sand. Individuals. Oh, I am proud of history education, proud of history education, proud of history education, proud of history education. My life is my life. I have the power to be.
Investing in history education is critical nowadays, especially when you look at the world around us and what's happening historically in the past as well as what's happening in the present. Money is very important to keep our programs going and valid, and I think that is critical, so we appreciate any help that you can give us. But even more so, it's important for children to understand the significance of the past in order to relate the past to the future and the present. And it's once you have them tied into it and alive and make history come alive and make it exciting for them, the whole aspect of history becomes different than just dates and times and facts. That becomes real with real people and real situations. And if we can bring that into our children's lives and have them animated about the past and actually see it as the present, bring it to the present and to the future, I think we've made great gains for our country, for our children, and for future citizens. Thank you.